It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. Off your mind.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don off mic, and if we talk, na 500,000 they go sama us call am hate speech. But fear not, Maiyegun don come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people wey dey spoil our country. So my people make we loud, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun diary politico, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. This one not dey off in mind, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. Can he dey touchlight every corner, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. Okay, some people be dey holla say dem want the power. Chai, dem be promise us say we go get light and power. Dem hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind, but thank God say Maiyegun don come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun diary politico, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. This one not dey off in mind, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. Person wey dey do evil no one make person talk. Them say that Maiyegun, that man too dey talk. He too dey talk. Say Maiyegun diary, he dey hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Poor man pikin dey the street dey hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Maiyegun don come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Maiyegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Bó bá ṣe eré, àní Maiyegun máa wí.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré, wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Maiyegun diary, diary politico.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìí yẹ.
Maiyegun
àìsídó bá rúfin o.
Maiyegun wà mí.
Alẹ́ sọ́ra jù.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Kíkó ní.
Hello there. Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. This is Maiyegun Live. Thank you so much, brethren, for joining me. Apologies for the late start. And if you check your time, indeed, it is TOT o'clock. So after reading the caption of this broadcast, read the description of this broadcast, like this broadcast, share it. So invite your friends and then your not so friendly friends. Tell all of them that Maiyegun today, Maiyegun is live. And if you have done it already, if you have done that already, thank you. So tonight, I have come with, as usual, I've come with a series of happenings. The ones that, and I've kind of like listed them in a way, I mean, according to their kind of like importance, trending, I call it. And most of these are political as well, very much political, because whatever it is that we discuss about those in charge of the contraption, their actions, their inactions, on and on, their enablers, collaborators, as well as the usual sewage dwellers who are kind of so vested. They have invested so much in tribalism, ethnicism, religionism, fanaticism, extremism, and in bigotry, which has become the stock in trade, where the APC have an abundance of, the usual sewage dwellers, the deflectors, those who do not have the capacity to engage you, especially when you are pointing out the failures of this APC. They are now becoming kind of like a creative master and shameless at the same time, because they have a way of trying to deflect, so that whatever it is that you are trying to, probably converse with them, if you do try to want to engage them, by the way. So they are not, they're like not that kind of intelligent, all right? So we, on Maiyegun's Diary Political, we are not just talking about the problems. We are naming and shaming the people responsible for the problems. And we are not just naming and shaming those responsible as in the active ones, but we are also naming and shaming those who are their enablers. So if you join Maiyegun's Diary Political, for God knows why or what prompted you to remain, to come here, there is a caveat that we need to, I need always on Sunday, so I need to roll out and remind us. This platform is not a friend of those in charge of the contraption. And it is actually a platform that is to open our eyes. Nobody say we are blind, like literally, so to say, but like, yes, blind at the same time, where people pretended that when something hasn't affected them, it is likely not happening. Maiyegun's Diary Political is that platform to help you understand the danger that we are all in when it comes to the bad governance, misgovernance, which indeed those who have been in charge of this contraption for years are synonymous with. But not just that. Maiyegun's Diary Political, the Temple of Truth, is also to help you take a side. I have taken a side. I am no longer a unity beggar. I am no longer, a one Nigerian who lied to himself and live in denial of the reality. And since I have taken a side, it is also better for you to take a side. If you want to take a side of those who are out to destroy us, kill us, which is what they are doing every day anyway, At least you will be aware of the consequences of your choice. If you want to be on the side of those who have chosen liberty over fear, those who have chosen their freedom over slavery, and those who have chosen sincerity over hypocrisy, when the truth stares you in the face, you will no longer be able to live in denial of it. And therefore, when you choose a side, everybody knows where everybody belongs. Identify those who are responsible for, those who are either the enablers as well as those who are responsible for what we are facing. This is why you are Maiyegun's Diary Political. I am not here to propagate the fraud and lies that APC, Egbekegbe, is known for. They have enough people to pay to do that for them. I do not succumb to the ideology, the superstitious ideology of the Sky Daddy. Therefore, when we are naming and shaming those responsible for the destruction and the division of that contraption, we do not care if they come from your tribe, whether they come from your ethnic nationality, or in fact, if they actually worship in the same church with you, or you worship in the same mosque with them. It doesn't really matter whether they are royal father, traditional, like they call them traditional rulers, or pastor, your imam, or your elder statesman. The moment they are fingered in these rots, we name and shame them, don't we? So the caveat there, therefore, is that if you cannot take it in, for example, by the time you take side, you will get to know where we belong, like I said, including those of you who love to be politically correct, those of you who are close-set oppressors and supporters. On Maiyegun's Diary Political, you will get to know where you belong, like I said. And the moment you know where you belong, the mask is off. The gloves are also off. And it is going to be so what that simply means is that if we manage to get to the critical mass, where people understand the danger that all of you supporting these rogues for one reason or the other, excusing for them. So you'll be identified as people's enemies. I will identify those of you supporting APC, as those who are after my life. When you supported the rogues who loot the present and the future, who gives no second thought to the survival of the coming generations, those who borrowed against the future generations yet unborn, they are enemies of the people. When you support them, you are enemy of the people. When you give excuses for them, you are enemy of the people. And it is always very good for people to actually know who their enemies are. You see, you might be praying for this spirit and that spirit to leave you alone. You may be traveling to Mecca every year to go and stone the shaitan. For Maiyegun's Diary Political, we do not actually deal with imaginary enemies. Those who chose to tank your economy. Those who decided to loot your treasury, borrow against the future generations. Deep tens of millions of people in generational poverty. These are enemies of the people. So if you are supporting them because they are from your tribe or from your religion, you will be identified as enemy of the people as well. And you will be identified as those who are after our lives. Anybody who is after your business, who is after your job, who is after your family, after your safety, after your community, after those you love, it is easier for you to identify them as those after your lives and their supporters, those who support them. And there are many, unfortunately, because of the level of weaponized poverty in that contraption. Of course, they've weaponized poverty in Nigeria. People can't think straight anymore. More than 70% of Nigerians are suffering from chronic mental health problems. Most of these are not even diagnosed, unfortunately. So therefore, when we preach on Maiyegun's Diary Political to open people's eyes, including those of you who are not living in that contraption, the diasporans, who believes that you are far away from the danger zones, since you are safe and comfortable wherever you are, maybe it's none of your business. Today, through this platform and many others, people are beginning to understand that the comfort you think you have wherever you are outside Nigeria is just imaginary. When your family members and loved ones are being hunted down, hacked down, and then, slaughtered and, destroyed by the state-sponsored terrorists who are receiving, pardon from the same system, then you begin to rethink your position, whether this actually affects you or not. And I'm so grateful to the brethren on this platform who have taken it upon themselves to share Maiyegun's Diary political video every now and then, home and abroad. The point here is that when we know the danger we are in, there is a possibility that we are going to act. I mean, if I understand that my loved ones are in danger, economically, security-wise, and those responsible to keep them safe are non-charlatan, and they are, in fact, so intentional about what they are doing. So this is man-made problems. This is man-made problem, and it is not spiritual problem. There is no need for any sky daddy. So when people know this and they know their enemies, those who are after their lives and their supporters, the next thing is to hopefully open their minds, open their eyes. In the process, right, form a critical mass. A critical mass where you know that whether you are a Yoruba or you are Igbo, you are Hausa or you are a Kanuri, TV or you are Jukun, wherever you come from, in any part of this contraption that is unholily put together, you will realize that we are all in danger, and that you have somebody inside the government or somebody from your community in the government or benefiting as a government contractor. When you realize, when you weigh the danger, the consequences of their actions and their inactions, and the benefit that you think, imaginary benefit that you think you are going to benefit for having somebody in their midst. Now, the choice will be yours. Like I said, you will take a side. So you will rather, I will rather take the side, my own side, where I can look for like-minded people, people who have been direct and indirect victims of this contraption, where all of us can indeed see what these guys have done to us. And like I said, educated, intelligent, enlightened, and exposed populace. The population of enlightened people who knows the danger they are in, who cut across all tribes, ethnic, and then a religion. Those who will know that they can no longer be deceived by the rogues who are taking advantage of our faith. Those who have taken advantage of our tribes, our loyalty, and association with our own ethnicity. They have used this like to gaslight us, blackmail us, and make us believe that they are in there for us. On Maiyegun's Diary Political, when you get to realize this and you're able to separate the chaff from the wheat, then there is a possibility that the critical mass we are talking about, where you can no longer have to be, controlled by your religion, and you can no longer be politically controlled because of your tribe and your ethnic, then that is likely going to be the time that common sense will prevail. Common sense, when all of us can actually agree and say, we never came together to actually put together this contraption. From there, we can actually listen to ourselves without shouting. The supremacy battle that they have planted or implanted or ingrained or socially conditioned us to keep pushing, they've done us no good. So Maiyegun's Diary Political is the reason why you will no longer present yourself as just because the criminals in power are Yorubas, you are going to stand there and defend them, when indeed their own economic policies and other policies, right, have not really spared the Yorubas from the bites and the bonds of this their policies. We watch them fritter away our commonwealth, but they want you and I to be ethnically jingoist, tribal, champion, and at the same time be ready to actually put the dagger, the guns, and on ourselves, put the dagger in our jugulars, fire the shot in our foreheads, decimate ourselves, weaken ourselves, and at the same time, right, beg them for crumbs. So on Maiyegun's Diary Political, whether you are rich or poor, whether you are, whether you are from the north or from the south, there's something we have in common. We have one enemy in common. Those who have united to destroy us through the lies of one Nigeria. Nigeria that you and I have no say in. Nigeria that you and I are not even treated as citizens. You have no right until the right they said you have. A place that has now become more or less worse than jungles. People are saying that calling Nigeria zoo is an insult to those who live in the zoo. Animals, so organized and respectful. And indeed, those of you who have become the victims of oppression, confused, and at the same time decided to just, if we can't beat them, we join them. I have a message for you. You see, when it comes to oppression, dictatorship, and all this misgovernance, nobody is spared, nobody is safe. Keeping quiet and pretending that you will be protected because, you see, you are not a troublemaker. You are not Maiyegun that is abusing people, abusing criminals. I'm not abusing people. I abuse criminals. You are not Maiyegun that is insulting elders. No, I'm not insulting elders. I'm insulting dealers. Foolish people also grow old. You know that. Criminals also grow old. So because you want to be very, very respectful, you don't want to be seen as very disrespectful. You think you will obey everything they say to you, therefore you will be spared. I have a message for you. The only thing that is so democratically, the only thing that is so democratic in Nigeria is the shege. The shege in Nigeria is the only thing that is democratically distributed. Whether you are Hausa or you are Yoruba or you are Igbo, whether you are, Ishekiri, Ijo, or you are Yoruba, whether you are from the Nupe, Ijebu, or Eba, whether you are from, wherever you are from, whether you are a Christian or a Muslim or atheist, somebody who doesn't even have any religion, Baba, the only thing that is democratically well distributed is the shege, right? Whether you are rich or poor, and that is our situation. We have taken side. I have taken side. Those of you are older people. Some of you are in your 50s and 60s. I don't know what happened to you. I don't know what you suffered in your generation. And I swear, we had a bit of that too. But listen, some of you have done what you think is right. You are very close to your own retirement if you haven't retired already. Now, if you want us to be, we would love actually to be part and parcel of the decision making that is going to affect the future that we are going to feature in. If you are talking about our future, or even if you think you are so smart enough, right? Let's even put it this way. Those of you in your 60s and 70s who have become so bigoted and so outdated enough that you are demanding for respect that you didn't hand. Listen to yourselves, right? If you have done well in your time, if your ideas are great in your youth, maybe Nigeria wouldn't have become what it is now. So asking us to keep quiet and pray for Nigeria is an insult. We watch these guys frittering away our own future, dividing us along ethnic, tribal, and religious line. It works for them all the time. Nigeria has become a place where people can't even elect their own leaders. Unfortunately, 64 years after, or nearly 65 years after independence, you cannot conduct a free and fair election where people can choose their own leaders and even vote out their own leaders. So if you are in your 60s and 70s and you think we are doing too much, that we do not have respect for elders, apart from the fact that now Ogun will kill you one by one, right? We just want you to know that we do not want to grow old to be like you. Because if you are so great and so good, because look at yourselves, your generation destroyed Nigeria. Your generation destroyed most of what you benefited from. And right now you are telling us to get used to it. Sometimes you blame us as well. We are impatient. Meanwhile, majority of you in your 20s, in your 30s, you are making decisions and running things that later shaped our own direction and trajectory as a people today. I didn't beg anybody to bomb me into Nigeria, remember? In your 20s and in your 30s, you are making decisions that changes the trajectory of millions of millions of people's lives. And you don't even want to take responsibility for that, whether you are docile, whether you are quiet, or you are active in all of this. Listen to me very well. Majority of you are no longer in the better position to advise us how to react, what to say and when to say it, what to do or what to dream. You are not in the best position, because if you are so great and so good, if you have actually thought about us during your own youth, we shouldn't be in this mess today. Or because majority of you are so irresponsible and still very much irresponsible, you are pushing the blame on us, you are pushing the responsibility on us, but at the same time, you do not want us to actually act. So there are generations coming after us too. I don't think this is the type of a country we want to live. We have to take a side. You have to take a side. And when people take sides, when they show you who they are, you better believe them and stop giving excuses for them. Majority of you and I have less than 20 years more until we become those old people that we are all talking about too. So the younger ones will say something and more about us too. Yeah, what did we do? How much did we even really? Or did we just, did they just slap us and then we just, join the line? So posterity will judge us. on my own part, Maiyegun's diary political, and me, Maiyegun, your general overseer of the Temple of Truth, I know posterity will judge me too. The coming generation will have something that is so detailed and factual. I'm talking about the event that led to wherever Nigeria will be at that time, whether broken into pieces or still so fragile and tied together by force as it is right now. I will, and many of you on this platform too, who have contributed so immensely, will be leaving something for the coming generation. And what is that? We'll be leaving them. Also, we'll be leaving for them facts, not fictions, truth, not lies, of those who actually led Nigeria to wherever Nigeria will be then. So that those that they will be presented with as heroes, we can easily let them know that they are villains. They are criminals who had the opportunity of making Nigeria better, uniting the people, prospering the people, using the commonwealth of the people for the people, but they choose to actually squander them. So selfish, so greedy, and so visionless, short-sighted as well. So we will leave something for this coming generation. That will be the truth. That's something that they never left for us, Rather, they wanted us to remember that the son of whom we are, the daughter of whom you are, don't say anything. When the elders are talking, you don't talk. Even when the criminals are talking, you don't talk because they are older. We will not be like that. And that is why on Maiyegun's diary political, if you are a politically correct person, this is not a place for you. If you are a bigoted soul, it's not a place for you. If you are one of those closet Ronukus, this is also not a place for you. So whatever you get on Maiyegun's diary political, it is completely undiluted. Everything you get from it is undiluted. What you make of them is totally yours. So if you can't take it, the kitchen will be warmer on Sunday. It can be hotter too. If you are here and you think the choice of word, the language are not too respectful, we advise you not to watch. Thank you so much for coming to my TED Talk. Right? Let me take a drink.
70 years old man. Is that you? Jesus is Lord. Is that you?
I don't want to sit here and reveal all my strategy. I am the first speaker among the three of us running. So they will spy on me. So you will have a limited answer here today. Another day you can bring me back. But that's part of what I do.
That's part of what he has to say. So good evening to you guys once again. Good afternoon to you. And maybe good morning to you from wherever you are joining us. So it is almost a Sunday sermon with Maiyegun live. Tonight. So tonight, we are starting with this trending clip. It is a podcast where Dele Farrington, it's called Dele Momodu. You know him. Yeah, the ovation. So Bob D granted an interview, series of topics or subjects were discussed. And among them is where he categorically said, if you are a rich man and you claim, you have if you have between 30 and 40 million naira in Nigeria, and you think you are a poor man, no, you are a madman. That's how he said it. He also said that if you have 30 to 40 million naira, there's no point in relocating abroad. There are businesses you can do in Nigeria. And these businesses can indeed make you very rich. He even listed some. Gone are the days where people will just be pulling stats out of their asses, ignoring some certain things and then making some exaggerated, vituperations or something like that. But we won't really throw out all he has to say or all he said. In fact, I think I should. This is, you know, the copy, this clip that I'm about to play you. Actually, the copyright of that belongs to that Tejupe B-Face. It's the one who granted this interview. So I'll mix it up so that the...
If you had 30-40 million in Nigeria and you think you are a poor man, I beg you are a madman. I'm sorry, I'm being brutally frank. You have 30-40 million and you can't set up a proper business in Nigeria. I beg you, think again. I know what I'm saying may sound stupid to you. Insecurity. There's nowhere where there's perfect security. On a single day, 3,000 people got killed in New York. The people of New York have not abandoned New York because of that. So if insecurity is your problem, in fact, you can provide your own security in Nigeria. If food is the matter, in fact, if you want to start your own ranch in Nigeria with cows and everything, with 30 million, you can start. But the attraction of going abroad, I tell people that when you go on vacation, everybody welcomes you. You are staying with your family in the field. The day you carry all your children to another man's house and he knows you are not going to leave in a hurry, then you will see the difference. When it's a vacation, they know after 3 weeks, 4 weeks, they are going back. They don't mind. They will endure. But when it becomes a permanent burden on their own family, you will be rejected. And the day you now rent your own house, that is the trauma you are going to carry almost for the rest of your life.
Which trauma? The rejection from your friends or the trauma of renting?
The trauma of renting your own house. Because now you have to face the reality of paying your own bills abroad. And there is no mercy. They are merciless. There's nothing like, I'm owing NEPA. Let me go to NEPA and bribe someone or beg someone to help me. There is nothing like that. Your money finishes, your life goes. No mercy.
All right. Just for the sake of our listeners, all right, we are not going to throw the, we're not going to throw the baby and the bathwater out. Okay? Is not completely wrong. And at the same time, is not completely right. But there are some comparisons that people shouldn't be making. Okay? So to make it easier, for the sake of those of you who are possibly planning to japa out of Nigeria, there's one advice I give to people. Don't sell your properties, right, in Nigeria and use the money to relocate to japa to anywhere. Don't do it. You see, a lot of people have left Nigeria on different kinds of visas, all right, with their families. They've given different reasons. You know, the economy, they're about to lose their job, or they just lost their job. They just packed together whatever was left of theirs, and they left Nigeria. Some of them have praised that decision to say, thank God for this decision. It's not easy, but I'm grateful to God I made this decision. On the other hand, we have seen people who made this decision as well. Within a year or two, they regretted it. Just like any decision you make in life. And that is why in this era of japa and jakpada, there are factors that lead to people deciding to japa. Let's start with that. When this APC, Ebekegbe, when they came to power, and then decided to destroy this Nigeria economy as it is. So when you have, I'm using past tense now, when you add the economy of $570 billion, where people had their jobs and their pay, then if you are earning 150,000 naira, right, you are possibly able to even buy a ticket and fly from Lagos to Abuja, or fly from Benin to Kano. because a ticket from Lagos to Abuja back then was around 14,000 naira. So if you are earning 100,000 naira, you are a big boy. If you're earning 150,000 naira, you may even be going to London for an holiday. That was how, I mean, it wasn't great, but that was how average it was before these guys came in. So today's Nigeria economy, the total economy is now valued at $197 billion. A shrunk economy. So which means nearly $400 billion has been wiped off your economy in 10 years, which has now created more people to have lost their businesses, lost their jobs, right? And in the process, a lot of people chooses to, before they lose everything, to sell whatever they have left and japa. In the process of that japa, right? Others ran into trouble, storming water, different factors. We have had people, after they left Nigeria, they started having problems with their partners. You know, different stories that eventually sort of like just jeopardized every, you know, they were doing fine in Nigeria, but there are other things within the home that is not so public, that later came public through their japa process. So we have had people who have had regrets. And we have had people as well who have remained so grateful for that decision, because or else we have so many of them right now who have jackpot their own colleagues who were doing fine in that contraption 8-9 years ago. They are now depending on them. True story. But let's start with what they did. 30 million naira. It's a lot of money. It's not a small money. Back then, even now, it's not a small money. But the value of it is the issue. Let's say you have a 30 million to 40 million worth of properties or whatever, or, you know, because I do not know if he is talking about having 30 million naira, 40 million naira cash, or he's talking about being worth, like liquidity. If you put everything, sell your everything, you still worth 40 million. Can you get now? I don't know if that was, if that is what Bob D is referring to. You understand? But whatever it is, let's look at the value of that 30, 40 million naira. Ladies and gentlemen, 10 years ago, right? See that 10 million naira. Let's start with 10 million naira. 10 million naira 10 years ago was like that's like 50,000. That's like 50,000 pounds. 10 million. So which means 30 million naira 10 years ago, right, was like 150,000 pounds. Even here in the UK, 150,000 pounds is a lot of money. It's enough for you to set up anything you want to set up in Nigeria without having to, considering whatever the economy was then. So what is 30 million naira today? Ladies and gentlemen, 30 million naira today, 10 years after, it's a paltry 23,000, and that is approximately 23,000 pounds. You see the difference? 150,000 pounds to mere 23,000 pounds. This is just a very good explanation of what has happened to your economy. Okay? So somebody who lives abroad with a job, good credit, can actually take out 25,000 pounds, which would be a bit over that 30 million naira. In fact, I've had people who have taken money from here, 50,000, 60,000 pounds, to either go and complete a house project in Nigeria or one business idea introduced to them, including having this cow business they call ranching, this local one in Nigeria. And they've all come back with so much regret. Those who are yet to come back, they are full of lamentation every day. And that's why my own first advice is this: if you are planning to jump up from that contraption, maybe you should, I'm not a financial advisor, so therefore my advice is just very much pedestrian. It's not so professional, whatever, but it is a layman advice. Speak to professionals and tell them what you can. If you have to sell your assets, do not sell your assets to process japa only because it's like, you know, it's like a gamble, so to say. But if you want to sell your asset that you want to japa, then you can put your asset in a fixed setting. You can, I don't know, like, that's why I say speak to professionals, where if things don't go as planned, you can easily go back to the place and you won't be losing everything all in all. Kind of an advice. But let's come to that part of abroad is this, abroad is that. From his own personal experience, Dele Momodu once said that not until he turned 55 or 54, that was when he built his first house. Because he lived abroad, he had a business, all right? So, until he turned 54, 55, he was never rich enough or had enough money to build himself a house in Nigeria. But here is something that the dishonesty of some of these guys who want to give you motivation, I'll be motivational speaker from that contraption these days. They are very dishonest. Dele Momodu is also very dishonest. Okay, that's why I said it's not completely right and it's not completely wrong. Okay, Dele Momodu and his family, they have a mortgage in UK. And it was just after maybe 4 or 5 years of himself in the UK when he said he ran away from the junta in Nigeria. Today, Dele Momodu has a house here in the UK, but it's a mortgage because that's their system. Nigeria is a place where you have to put together resources and build yourself a nice house, or whatever your money can, really do, right? So now talking about bills. In Nigeria, don't you pay bills? Do you actually really go to the NEPA and bribe them? All of you in Nigeria, is that what you do? You go to NEPA and bribe them so that you don't have to pay your electricity bill. Is that true? Listen, I'm not saying that there are none of you who are like shortchanging the system, tapping your wire. I did it when I was in Nigeria too. So it's not something I'm not familiar with. But does that stop you from paying your bills? Like when he said in abroad, it is so depressing that you cannot go to the electricity office, which is, he said, you can't go to NEPA and bribe them and say, I don't have money for electricity, I don't have this and that. You see, the point here is this. Dele Momodu, if you are watching me, if by any chance you come across this video, you are very much really, really dishonest. I don't know where that is coming from. In Nigeria of today, it is not that people don't have ways of sourcing for fund to start businesses in Nigeria. How many businesses are surviving in that place? People are opening businesses every day now. There are those who are opening businesses of 100,000 naira, 200,000, 1 million naira. There are those who are opening businesses of 50 million, 100 million naira. As bad as Nigeria is, people are still bringing their money from the private ways, family, to invest, to start something. Some are starting farms. Some are doing ranches. Truly, how is that for them? And how much impact is that actually really having when the will to actually run a business in a working system, incentives to those who want to actually invest their own money in that place? How many of such protection do they have in that system? In all genuinity, how many of you have lost so much money? Genuinely, I'm not talking about those of you who are cutting corners and those of you who are using grace of God. You say, how is business? How is everything? Say, oh my brother, and grace of God, oh, we just we push arm. But behind the scene, until your face shows up on the screen and say you are this, you are that, now grace of God, everybody they use. People are still, like even people from abroad, they are taking loans and investing it in Nigeria. Some will tell you that it's been working well. It's not easy. Here you get now. But we have stories of those who have had their fingers burned. It is not the people per se. When those in government, whose policies continues to actually stifle, competition in such a way that is to stifle every smaller businesses to fold up. Macro businesses in that contraction have been suffering endlessly. There are people who have personal testimonies to tell you, if your business has anything to do with, agriculture, for example, people will tell you their own sorry tale in the hands of the Fulani terrorists. Oh, it says something about if it is insecurity that is your worries. In New York, 3,000 people are killed every day. This is the problem. 3,000 people killed in New York every day. Is that not outrageous? Like, fine, it may not be like every day 3,000, but what he's saying is averagely. All of you where they live for New York, on Maiyegun's diary political. I beg you. Do you know that 3,000 people every day, times 10 days is 30,000. Times 30 days is 90,000 people. That's something. Yeah? So, killed, it's not that 90,000 people die every month. It means that people were killed. They were killed by people, not because they were sick, they were unwell, and all of that. So, when you check that data, you realize that Dele Momodu is also very being dishonest. He's not being truthful. Because when you check this online and see how many people are killed in New York every day, the number that the data brought back is so far from what Dele Momodu is spewing on that platform. You get me now? So killed is not like, yeah, there may be over 50,000. I didn't check that. I'm supposed to even check that as well. I should have, okay. How many people are killed in New York daily? 452 people. This is what they said, according to the US Census Bureau. Approximately, no, in fact, die, not killed, though, die. They said approximately 452 people die every day in the state of New York. This includes people who are in the hospital, terminally ill, and then those who die of violence. They say averagely, which means that is far from what Dele Momodu dropped in that place. In Nigeria, in 2024 alone, over 600,000 people were killed. Killed, though, not die, killed by different arms of a terrorist. This was also released by the Nigerian National Bureau of Statistics. They released the figure to the public. So Dele Momodu, to be talking about security, is also being dishonest as well. Sorry, Dele Momodu, rather, talking about insecurity in that manner. It's also very being dishonest because it's like saying, oh, every day 3,000 people are killed, not die, just killed. Out of these 452 people that die in New York, they say, that's a person dies. One person dies every 3 minutes, either through the natural cause or through violence. So in their own figure, this is also averagely too, right? They say more than 80 people are killed in New York every day, averagely. So where did Dele Momodu, where did he get that 30,000 from? It is also to mislead the people in that place. Wherever you are, there is something called responsibility. Whether you build your own house, you will run it in Nigeria, won't you? You pay bills, you do this, you pay the school fees of your children, you pay your medical bills, just like people in America. You also pay their own health insurance, pay their rent. And according to the economy they are living in, whatever they are earning is always going to commiserate, it's always going to correspond with the rent they are paying or the life they choose to live. Now, I'm not saying that you can't invest in Nigeria, okay? You can if you want to, but when you compare all the risk involved, right? Nobody should be telling you about the bill in America, the bills in the UK. Don't you pay bills where you are? Do you not? So, Mr. Dele Momodu, I don't know any other thing I can pick out of all you said. You know, you provide your own security in Nigeria. I don't provide my own security here. My tax pay for that. You provide, he said, okay, if you are worried about security, you can provide that, which means you pay more. Now, Nigerians are working about like they are criminals. When you see, FT gun-wielding men protecting them from kidnappers, protecting them from God knows what. And sometimes you'll be like, are these VIP or they are criminals? I don't know what it feels like, though. I haven't tried it. To see people wielding guns, protecting me. But that is what Nigeria is. So if I go to Nigeria, I would have to pay some people. The system can't protect me. That's what Dele is talking about. This is also part of the reasons why when you go and put your 40 million in a place where it is not safe, your life is not safe. So is that not a gamble? I mean, if you have to talk about traveling abroad or relocating out of that place, people leave that place for so many reasons. People do. And just like every decision you make in life, they say it is always risky. So if you work hard, you are likely going to live to tell a very good tale. And if the universe works against you, like it has worked against so many others based on the decisions they have taken in their lives, So Nigeria is the one that is chasing us out. And it continues, the roles continue to actually make policies, decisions that will continue to encourage people to find alternative elsewhere. So like I said, if I have an advice for those of you who want to japa, if you have to japa and you have 50 million, 40 million, well, choose what you want to do with it. Start a business in that place and run it until you run down or until you are successful. It's up to you. Or it is not the dishonesty of Dele Momodu and others like that, that people like you should use as your guide. So let's leave that and go to something else. I'll be back in a minute or two. I want to take a break. I want to take a tea break, so to say, okay? Please don't go anywhere.
I'm highly disappointed of Nigerian government because the Nigerian government were highly disappointed in them due to foreseen circumstances. Definitely, I'm one of those people are proving people should die in coronavirus is more better than people should die in hungers. Hunger kills more than coronavirus because some people are less privileged. Due to foreseen circumstances that I said it, some people are less privileged, which they are based on daily pay, which are not even based on salaries. But our government thinks that the lockdown is the best solution to coronavirus and proving it to an extent and to the levels of alacrity that if someone die in coronavirus, it's more efficient to die in hunger because some people will be in some people.
Fellow Nigerians, this is just the beginning.
In River State, Stemless Fubara, which is now becoming spineless Fubara, seems to have been boxed to a corner. The last few months, I've seen Fubara punch down the Wike team. Now, Wike has pulled a stunt that further exposes the Nigeria judiciary. Judiciary, a place where law, justice goes to die, just like Nigeria, where dreams goes to die. So, the people that violated the law of the land, defected from their own political party without reason, only to find out later, after swearing to an affidavit that confirmed that they have left their own political party. People destroying people. PDP to APC, which is Al-Qaeda People's Congress, Akpanyo. People's Congress, APC. So when they discovered that they have heard, they used what they normally used, that's always the power of manipulation, the rotten, compromised system, where suddenly the affidavit disappeared. But here are the example of series of cases instituted by all sides. The first part was after they decamped to APC. I'm talking about Martin Amaewhule, the Wike speaker from Obiakpo, local government of Wike. So when they discovered that they've moved at the wrong time, after the Fubara and Co. declared their seat vacant, they went to court. They went to court to say the court should stop them from declaring their seat vacant because they decamped to APC. So the court then ruled and said they must not declare their seat vacant. Fubara and his gang went on to declare these seats vacant, and they called on INEC to conduct new elections into their seat, 27 seats in this Rivers State House of Assembly. INEC ignored them. So when the INEC won't conduct this election, remember the court case that said they must not declare their seat vacant, that prompted Fubara and his gang to appeal the judgment that says their seat cannot be declared vacant because it decamped to APC. Again, this is an established sort of argument that yes, we have decamped, but you must not declare us our seat vacant, or we are going to declare your seat vacant. So they went to the appeal court. while they were still at that, the Fubara's guys ignored this Martin Amaewhule with the weakest people. He ignored them. He was no longer interacting with them. There is no point in dealing with them because according to Fubara, these guys are no longer lawmakers in Rivers State. So Martin Amaewhule and co. then asked Fubara to interact with them, pay their salaries, submit the names of his political appointees to them for screening. And he must also submit the state appropriation bill, which is their budget for 2024, to them. So second, this time, when Fubara didn't deal with them last year, apart from their seats being declared vacant or not case in court, right? It is now the case of Fubara must be stopped from spending Rivers State money without appropriation. Remember this, so Fubara says these guys are not local government, they are no longer lawmakers for the campaign. And there is a case in court where they said, yes, we have decamped, but we are still lawmakers. You must not declare our seat vacant. So they went to court and said Fubara must be stopped from spending the Rivers State money because he failed to submit the state appropriation bill to them. A court now ruled, High Court ruled that Fubara, like the case of vacant seat, the court now ruled that Fubara Nko must no longer be paid the Rivers State allocation, which are the state allocation and the local government allocation. So Fubara went to court again, like that of the vacant seat case, to appeal that decision that the central bank and the finance ministry of Nigeria must no longer pay Rivers State allocation because Fubara did not, submit the 2024 budget to this with the weakest men. Second case. Now that second case, remember, like I said, there is a vacant seat case already. So when it now came to this vacant seat case at the appeal, right? Suddenly, the affidavit that said we have decamped to APC suddenly disappeared. It got withdrawn. And because it's withdrawn, right? The appeal court now is to rule if these guys have decamped or not, if their seats are vacant or not. But when they filed another case of Fubara acting illegally on his own without status of assembly, right? So there is a judgment that said allocation must be stopped. So while Fubara is in court, right, fighting for, no, these guys have no local standing to say they are still lawmakers. The appeal court now ruled that indeed the Central Bank of Nigeria, Ministry of Finance, they have no right to stop the allocation of Rivers State. That was what took them to the Supreme Court. So when they got to the Supreme Court, the argument before Supreme Court of Nigeria was that this Martin Amaewhule, they have local standing to challenge Fubara and stop the allocation of Rivers State at all. This was the case before the Supreme Court of Nigeria. When the Supreme Court will rule, the case that's not before the Supreme Court, they have to rule on it. And what are the cases? And what are the ruling? What are the part of this ruling? Let me break down that for you. Again, right? Remember, the reason why they had the Supreme Court was because Amaewhule went to court to stop the allocation of Rivers State being paid to Rivers State because Fubara is not working with the status of assembly. Fubara says, I'm not working with you because you are no longer House of Assembly members. So on appeal, Fubara won. At the Supreme Court now delivered the following. The first one, the case that is not before the Supreme Court, local government, the local government case. Remember that when Fubara became governor, the local government chairman in Rivers State, they were those who were loyalists of Wike. Their term came to an end, and there was a ruling of the Supreme Court of Nigeria that any state that failed to conduct local government election, they must not be paid their local government allocation. So Fubara had to conduct local government allocation, but because of the crisis between all of them, the Martin Amaewhule's House of Assembly, they've already extended the tenure of the local government chairman. They were elected for 3 years. The 3 years lapsed, ended. Amaewhule, without the request from the governor to extend the local government chairman, unilaterally, they changed they changed the law of Rivers State that gave the power to the governor to decide if he's going to appoint caretaker or extend the tenure of local government chairman. They changed it and they gave the power to themselves. And, normally when you make law in the state, the governor needs to sign the law. But they have to, they have to override the governor. Because that, they were not all in talking terms. So they said they've changed the law. So now it is the status of assembly that will determine if there will be caretaker or an extension of office. So because of this, they extended the office of the tenure of this Wike's local government chairman. And they went to court because when Fubara came, he dissolved them, conducted his own selection called election. His own people took over the local government areas. So the local government guys of Wike were also in court, saying that the local government election he conducted was false. But listen, these two cases of the campaign and local government, they were not part and parcel of the case at the appeal at the Supreme Court. But they kind of are intertwined, all right? Remember, Martin Amaewhule said they must stop the local government allocation as well as state allocation because all the money is being spent by Fubara. They are being spent illegally. So court must stop it. And Fubara said, you have no right to say that. You are no longer lawmakers. You have no standing, no legal right to say that until the case that says you have decamped is determined. But you see, Supreme Court now ruled that, one, the local government election conducted by Fubara is null and void. Therefore, all the local government chairman declared winner in that election, right? They must be disbanded. And also, another election should be conducted in the local government areas. Secondly, the Supreme Court also agreed that, you know what? There is no point in waiting for the appeal court, whether you decamp or you didn't decamp. That's not the issue anymore. In fact, in the face of the law, you have not decamped. You are still members of PDP. And therefore, you are the authentic. So, remember, they have a case at the appeal court that is still to be determined. Now, Supreme Court has already ruled over that. And these two are not part of the case before the Supreme Court. But, argumentatively, they said, this is how the Supreme Court now have to lay foundation for building its own judgment. The judgment that now says, since the Supreme Court has confirmed with the Wike's men that they didn't decamp, they are still members, and therefore not relating with them, doing business with them by Fubara, it violates the law. Sure you get? And the judgment is that Fubara, until Fubara begin to deal with these guys, follow whatever they say to him, until then, the federal government, which is the Tifnumbu and gang, they must not pay the allocation of River State to River State anymore. This is the latest. So that simply means the neutrality, or let me say the neutralization of Wike and his men, who were planning to remove Fubara a year ago, until the table turned. Now the table has turned again. It has given them the privilege now. They now have the upper hand. There's no court after the Supreme Court. So that means Fubara is boxed to a corner. And this Amaewhule and co, they have been moving mad since then. They have been choking Fubara himself to the point that the rumor of the plan to impeach Fubara has been also spreading. Okay, and others have also been reacting to it. It's been, one accusation after the other. Accusation, counter accusation, coup, counter coup. In the word of Bukwari, it's been like the threat of a coup, counter coup. So yesterday, it's now announced, no, hang on, it's actually today. It is now announced that, okay, hang on. In the last 2 days, after that judgment, Martin Amaewhule has issued a letter, a very strong worded warning letter to Fubara, that you see, it is not just the appropriation, the budget you didn't submit to us, including those people including the people you appointed as your commissioners or special advisors or whatever, you did not submit their names to us. We did not approve of them. You will sack all of them. And then you will now send us the names of nominees for any position. Then we will debate and pass that. You will pay us all the money, all our salaries and emolument that you have denied us in the last 1 year, 2 years. They shall have their list. The local government election you are planning to conduct, you will not conduct the local government election until we give you the go-ahead. So that's the set of things. So yesterday, 2 days ago, I think, on Friday, was it? Amaewhule and co. They had this deliberation. That's what we're going to go to next, ladies and gentlemen.
Chairman of the River State. Independent Electoral Commission is not here. So, Speaker, as the House, we resolve, it's not that you on your own sat there and said the man should come instead. We all resolved that we need him to come here for us and explain himself on certain issues that have been raised. The Speaker that is not here means that he's evading appearance. I don't know what he's guilty of, and I don't know what he's running from. The Speaker, it's an insult on this institution, and it is an insult on the Rivers people. The Speaker, recall that when you were talking about, when you were giving your closing remark on the resolution, and even when the resolution was issued, the closing remark there was that if he refuses to appear, the House shall issue a warrant of arrest. Mr. Speaker, we are aware that staff of the House Assembly, not even Korea, the clerk and his team went to the office to deliver this letter, and it was so delivered. It is in almost all national dailies. I saw it on the TV. So they cannot feign ignorance. Mr. Speaker, I think this shall not go taken too far. Mr. Speaker, I think it's time for the House to invoke its powers as enshrined. Mr. Speaker, I think it's time. Mr. Speaker, I think to give him another opportunity for the benefit of doubt. Let's assume that maybe it is not his way, and then he has not arrived.
Mr. Speaker, dear colleagues, great to be with.
So they are all talking about the chairman of River State Independent Electoral Commission. The one they summoned that he must not conduct any election, even though they have chosen a date, which is the 2nd of August or so. All right? And that one made the announcement also, like 2 days ago.
Therefore, the Commission hereby makes the following rules and regulations. 1. Local government council elections. There shall be local government council election on Saturday, 9th August 2025 in all the 23 local government areas of River State. Listed in the second column of the table and first schedule of these guidelines, in which one councillor shall be elected in each ward. B. A chairman and vice chairman shall be elected for each of the local government areas. At this juncture, it is just and convenient to call attention to Section 20 of the RSIEC law on procedure at elections, which mandates the Commission to give notice of election. Section 20 of the said law reads as follows, and I quote, "The Commission shall, not less than 90 days before the date of an election, publish a notice, 1, stating the date of election, and 2, appointing a place at which nomination papers are to be delivered. 3, publish the notice in each ward where an election is to be held." Section 150, subsection 1 of the Electoral Act 2022 is also relevant, and I read, I quote, "In furtherance of the provisions of Part 2 of Part 2 of the second schedule to the Constitution, the procedure regulating elections conducted by the Commission to area councils in the Federal Capital Territory under this Act shall be the same and apply with equal force as the procedure regulating elections conducted to local government areas by any state, unquote. State Commission, as defined thereunder, means State Independent Electoral Commission, including RSIEC, created under Section 197 of the Constitution. This is the extant provision of Section 152 of the Electoral Act 2022. Therefore, by the combined effect of Section 150, Subsection 1 of the Electoral Act 2022, and Section 103, Subsection 1 and 3 of the Electoral Act 2022, which applies to Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, by virtue of Section 50 of the Act, aforecited, RSIEC is mandated to
There's even someone who claimed to be a member of a political party, IPAC, they call themselves, you know. It's like the association of all political parties or something on this same issue, right? He added, I'm trying to bring him up. Where is he again? Mr. IPAC.
I am Chief Suema Osaru, the state chairman of the Social Democratic Party and the state chairman of the Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC, River State Council.
As IPAC chairman, are you satisfied with this timetable that you set?
Why will IPAC not be satisfied with this unveiling? What RSIEC have done here today is to open up, in compliance with the judgment of the Supreme Court, to say that yes, this election will be reconducted. And IPAC have, and RSIEC have done that in sublime compliance with the enabling statute, with enabling laws that backed election conduct in the state. And so if you look at what they have done, the time frame is in total compliance with the rules. And so we are saying that for them to, in the first place, within the shortest time that this Supreme Court judgment came up alive, to come up with this shows that they are very much a reliable body. Their proactiveness to come out and invite all of us today, less than 1 week, shows that yes, they know what they're doing. And so since they are ready to comply with the law and they have unveiled the timetable today, we as a recognized stakeholder, as IPAC in the state, we are ready to comply with provisions and as well as the guidelines provided by RSIEC today.
Okay, as IPAC chairman, it means you're responsible for all the practice in the state, right?
I represent,
you represent
yes, all the parties in the state.
Confirm if we have all the parties on ground for this on this?
Of course, we have all the parties. Standing with me here is the secretary of IPAC, who is also the state chairman of Zenith Labour Party. Okay.
Here?
Standing with me here is the state chairman of NROM, okay, who is a member of IPAC. There are other state chairmen here. You can see Hida Dukubo, the chairman of Labour Party. Yes, I saw the state chairman of APC there in the hall. Yes, I saw him in the hall. He was present in the hall. Chief Emeka Beke was in the hall. I saw other state chairmen in the hall. They are entitled to be here. Okay? This is an invitation extended to every political party, and they are here. They are here. All the parties are here.
Are you, as a party chairman, are you satisfied with the recently unveiled timetable for a rerun or a fresh election for the LG? Are you good to go?
Well, it's a fresh election, and if you go, you heard the chairman of RSIEC give the justification for his choice of date. So if by law that protects all of us, the parties and the people who will run the elections, why not? It gives everybody ample time. So people are not in that die-hard speed and rush. It gives us time, at least 5 full months.
Are you ready for another election?
Well, here we will do it. If that's what we have to do, we have to do it. Everybody has to do what one has. You can't shy away from a responsibility if it comes.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Your name and
My name is Hilda Dokubo, Chairman, Labour Party, Rivers State.
I'm not happy about the date. Why 5 months? When the Supreme Court, even though I'm not a lawyer, like I said in my first interview, I'm not a lawyer, but I know that it's 3 months, they said, and so if it is 3 months, we're expected, the election is expected to hold in May, in May or June, not August, June, not August. August from today, from March 5th to 5th of August is 5 months, in my opinion. I don't know.
So, this was after they were told the election will hold. But back to the Martin Amaewhule's House of Assembly, right? The conversation is that the RSIEC Chairman ignored their invitation and they are giving him a last chance, right? So, Fubara, on the other hand, I'll come to that. Yes, a bit. Here is a bit of their conversation again on the matter.
I am Honorable Emilia Makapani from Obia State Constituency 2. I arrived this morning to add my voice to the issue of ground. After our plenary on Wednesday, I went home and opened this constitution on section 128 and 29, and the powers that were vested on us as an assembly. That 128 says the power to conduct investigation. And that's what we are doing. And what are we investigating? Expose corruption, inefficiency, or waste in the execution or administration of the law. So what are we saying? This House has come up with a summons letter to the Chairman and Commissioners of the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, RSIEC, to appear before us. And we can see their not here. So, Mr. Speaker, I'm saying that the powers invested on us in Section 129 should be carried out. But I want to plead, as a mother, will give them a second chance for the benefit of that. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Let's give them till Monday. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, I'm Honorable Dr. Smart. Well, Mr. Speaker, I will not want to give from my colleagues that have spoken. Like I said before, the Judge Justice Liberty is a well-known man, I'll say the temple of elastic justice. He served as a judge in the State High Court here. I believe that got pedigree. But then, what we're doing here is serious business. In your intro, before we started, we like you said, we're elected here by people to make laws and to make sure things are properly done in accordance. I think one thing people have, forgotten to understand, or have not come to understand, in the business of governance is the legislative arm is an arm of government that is so independent. So I think because of the kind of...
So I'm trying to kind of like a cut our time so that we are not too far gone before we realize that we still have a lot others to share. So Amaewhule himself, right, has this to say. However, it's been reported that they have now been invited by Fubara to come for a peace meeting. I'll come back to that again, because there's something in there that looks a little bit fishy. Yeah, a little bit dodgy, okay? Again, I'll put everything on the screen for you, and you'll be the judge. Right? Amaewhule.
Electoral Commission. Honorable members are indeed correct that we're empowered by Section 128 of the 1999 Constitution as amended to invite anybody, particularly those who are in the public service of Rivers State, to appear before this August Assembly to brief the House or answer questions regarding their conduct in office. Letters were sent to the chairman and the commissioners of the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission. We have it in good authority that the letter was received by their office, and the office of the clerk went an extra mile in line with the resolution of this House to publish same in the print media. It's also there in the electronic media. Today we expected to see them, but they failed to appear before this August Assembly. We have listened to members who have pleaded that we give them another opportunity, give them another chance to oblige this House with their presence in line with the Constitution and extant laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I want to say that all the members have said that we extend or give them another opportunity is carried, but we'll put it to vote. We'll put it to vote so that one way or the other this House will decide whether to give the chairman of the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission and the commissioners up till Monday, the 10th day of March 2025, to appear before this House. And going by the motion moved by the Deputy Speaker, that if they fail to appear on Monday, that the House will be left with no other option but to invoke our powers in Section 129 to ask the police to compel them to appear before this August Assembly. On that note, let me put the question. Those in favor of the motion as moved and seconded that the House do give the chairman of the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission and his commissioners another chance to appear before this August Assembly, and more specifically to be before this August Assembly on Monday, the 10th day of March 2025 at 10 a.m. should please indicate by raising their hands.
So, the latest now is that Fubara is now pursuing the pathway to peace. He's asking for a ceasefire. We don't know how this is going to play out. But some people are saying that, you know, when I say some people, let me be clear now, okay? So right now, the Ronukus are interested in Rivers State. Let's be very clear. They are very interested. So to them, when Tinubu called a meeting and gave them resolution and told Fubara to sign, and Fubara signed, only for Fubara to renege, because the elders of Rivers State told him that how dare he. So now they went to court, and now that they have been sort of shortchanged and, in quote, defeated in court, Fubara is now asking that Tinubu should intervene, that it is late. Fubara will be removed. It's just a matter of time, a matter of days now. Others are saying triumph. So this counter claim, this claim, allegation, accusation, counter allegation, counter accusation, counter, coup, has been going on from both sides. So they are saying that, number one, Monday, which is tomorrow, Fubara is scheduled at 10 a.m. to go and commission a project called the commissioning of the Palace of Unyeweali Akpo Kingdom. You get. Meanwhile, on the left-hand side on your screen, that is the letter written by Fubara to these guys. I hereby write in furtherance of His Excellency's promise stated in my letter dated 5th of March 2025 to notify you that His Excellency has received the Supreme Court judgment and has therefore directed me to invite you and your colleagues, the honorable members of Rivers State House of Assembly, to a meeting to discuss 1. Provision of benefiting space for the assembly sittings. Befitting place for the assembly's sitting. 2. Payment of all outstanding remuneration or allowances of the honorable members. 3. Presentation of budget and sundry matters. 4. Any other matters as may be necessary to chart the way forward in the best interest of the state. Sequel to the above, I hereby humbly invite the Honorable Speaker and all the members of the Rivers State House of Assembly to a meeting with the Governor as follows: 10 a.m. tomorrow. Now, Fubara won't be there 10 a.m. tomorrow except if it is cancelled. So you see this whole dilemma now. So Fubara has no choice anymore than to relate with these guys, and if he failed to, they have the power to remove him as governor, which is the end goal anyway. So he's offering to pay the allowances, which means he's recognized them, and there will be people that would have to be thrown under the bus. But don't let us forget the genesis and the genesis of all this wahala. So whatever it is that that is currently playing out, I can promise you from other exchanges I have for you this evening, from these same camps, different camps, that we have not even heard the end of it yet. For example, these guys are warning Fubara, if you fail to obey this and that.
Strand of Algon, members, River State. Good afternoon, gentlemen of the press. We address you today in our capacity as local government chairmen and campaign coordinators of Governor Fubara in the Just Speaking LGAs in River State during the last gubernatorial election. In that capacity, we mobilize support for him among Ijos. Beyond mobilization for support, we vouched for Governor Fubara's ability, his competence, character, and exercise set skill to discharge the functions of the office of the Governor of River State within our various domains. And as a matter of incontrovertible fact, we deliver Governor Fubara in Abua Odua, Ogubolo, Okreka, Andoni, Asari Toro, Agugu Toro, Begema, Pass of Port Harcourt, and Awoda West. All thanks to God Almighty. Gentlemen of the press, there is a saying that goes, if the female lion does not perceive danger from the noise of the cub, she stays asleep. Our appearance before the press might stun the viewers, as this is the first of its kind, but we have not come to the fore without a reason of societal significance. We are aware that River State has been embroiled in a steam conflict that adversely affects the relationship between the governor and the River State House of Assembly. In fact, the detrimental consequences of this conflict cannot be overemphasized. Nonetheless, we are happy that the seemingly unresolvable crisis, which defied a presidential intervention, is nearing an end. Following the unambiguous pronouncement by the Supreme Court of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, we are hopeful that stakeholders will make patriotic efforts towards implementation of the judgment to move the state forward. It is necessary to point out that the presidential intervention gave Governor Fubara victory by ensuring that he will never be impeached and encouraged him to work with the Assembly, but it was rejected by him as unconstitutional at the behest of these same few conflict-preneurs from within and outside the state. After the pronouncement of the Supreme Court, we all accepted the judgment, basking in the euphoria that the prevailing conflict, which amongst all the states apart has been put to rest by the landmark judgment of the Apex Court. But unfortunately, our attention was drawn to both subtle and frontal threats to the government, instigated by some individuals and organizations who ostensibly are beneficiaries of the crisis. It is even worse that they use the Ijaw identity to fuel the embers of violence and intimidation of the federal government. In this category, our organizations such as Ijaw National Congress, INC, and some renegades of the Ijaw Youth Council, IYC. As a matter of fact, this organization stated publicly that the Ijaws will resort to violence against critical national oil infrastructure if Governor Fubara is impeached. This implies that this pro-Ijaw ethnic organization have not read the Supreme Court judgment they so condemn. We stringently condemn those empty threats and urge the federal government and Nigerians to disregard such comments which project the Ijaws in a bad light. More so, it is a fact that these threats attack the sensitivity of the people from other ethnic groups in River State who also voted for Governor Siminalayi Fubara. Unfortunately, the governor himself is not blameless of inciting condemnation of the judgment. Instead of calming down frail nerves after the judgment, he personally, in a public speech, made allusions to these intentions to lead youth and supporters to promote violence. We have also seen videos and press statements of supposed stakeholders, including Professor Benjamin Okaba, Alhaji Mujahid Asari Dokubo, threatening the energy security of the Nigerian state. If attempt at implementation of the judgment leads to the impeachment of the governor, our hearing these threats, we are compelled to ask the following questions. 1. Did the judgment call for impeachment of Governor Fubara? The simple answer is no. 2. Where were these persons who claim to be fighting the so-called Ijaw fight when the governor truncated the tenure and seized the allocation of the AGAs, including those of us who are fellow Ijaw? Where were they when he stopped the salaries of the assembly members and even made conscious attempts to use the court to impeach them, including 10 Ijaw sons and daughters? They were all unconcerned because they were benefiting from the crisis and are not ready to stop benefiting from it. In summary, the judgment, to the best of our knowledge, invalidated and nullified the local government elections for procedural irregularities. Recognize the River State House of Assembly.
I won't save us time because I'm leaving the supposed less important one for the last. But we still have to accommodate it, you know. Very Dark Man versus Lege Miami because of it, because of Shiiti Fnumbu. But here is another person pointed out, was pointed as one of those brain behind organizing violence in support of Fubara, coming out to deny that, like, no, I'm not one of them, because these ones are like those who claim to have worked for Fubara, but Fubara betrayed them by this, by treating them, like they were nothing. Okay, but for this guy, his own oppressor, like I said, allegation, counter-allegation, accusations, counter-accusations, and what have you. Listen to this.
This is a press statement by myself, Ambassador Subumabo Jackwich, the national leader of the Simplicity Movement. I'm distancing myself, the National Rescue Movement, NROM, the defunct Niger Delta Liberation Force, Niger NDLF, and the Tantita Security, my section of the Tantita Security in River State, being a subcontractor from the circulating Niger Delta Rescue Movement video and its threats of hostilities. My attention has been drawn to a recent video circulating online, purportedly released by a group identified as the Niger Delta Rescue Movement, threatening to resume hostilities in response to the 48 hours ultimatum issued to Governor Siminalayi Fubara by the Martin Amaewhule-led Rivers State House of Assembly. I wish to make the following clarifications regarding this video. Number one, no link between my party and the group. I am deeply concerned about the name of the group, as it bears a striking resemblance to my political party. Being the leader of the party, the National Rescue Movement, as the leader of NROM, the Rivers State chapter, I categorically distance my party from any link, affiliation, or connection with the group. NROM remains a law-abiding political party committed to democratic principles and peaceful engagement. 2. Misleading association with Tantita Security. In the said video, I observed that one of the individuals was wearing yellow rain boots, a black polo, and jeans, and attire similar to that which is worn by personnel of the Tantita Security outfit. My own section, like I said, I am a subcontractor to the Tantita Security outfit, and our dress code that is known in the waters, in fact, in River State, is that our color is black long sleeve, maybe a black jean or trousers, and a yellow rain boot. The leadership of the group, the team leads are putting on red beret, or then the members are putting on black beret. So that is our look. Now, if you look into the video, you will see that some person in that video is putting on that yellow rain boot, which struck my attention. And that is what I'm trying to correct. That we are not into such criminal activities, and so I disassociate myself from them. I don't know the people. Tantita Security is committed to a lawful security operations in line with its mandate. 3. No connection with the defunct Niger Delta Liberation Force. As the leader of the defunct Niger Delta Liberation Force, it is my responsibility to also exonerate the group from this seeming semblance in the name of the said military group, because the NDLF currently is under the presidential amnesty program and no longer into its old ways. As I speak to you, we have some cases even before the National Security Advisor. We are following whatever we want our arguments with, without violence, and very professionally. A clear attempt to set me up. This development aligns with the alarm I raised yesterday about certain individuals who are hell-bent on framing me and linking me to criminal activities in order to use security agencies to take me and other leaders supporting Governor Fubara out of circulation. Their ultimate aim is to manipulate the forthcoming local government elections without opposition. 5. A repeated pattern of intimidation. This same sinister tactic is or was employed against me on April 8, 2024, when the military invaded my home, destroying my properties and killed 2 of my workers. But by the grace of God, I am alive today, and nothing incriminating was found against me, despite their desperate attempts to silence me. Reaffirming my innocence and right to support Governor Fubara, I wish to state clearly once again that neither myself, the National Rescue Movement, Niger Delta Liberation, the defunct Niger Delta Liberation Force, nor the section of transitory security that is under my leadership have any connection with criminality or acts of violence. I want to remind you that a week ago, like I said, I was informed by someone very close to this opposition that plans have been made to get me and some other persons away, out of the way. Reasons is that they see me because I am like one of the key players who is strengthening the governor's leadership. I have created what they call the simplicity movement to assist the governor, seeing his qualities, seeing the the leadership prowess, his readiness to transform River State from what it was to what it is becoming today. And
nuisance lele, nuisance lele, nuisance lele.
So what happened is that he happened to be one of the former terrorists of Niger Delta called the Militants, by the way. It's Jack Rich or something. He's a billionaire. So he's one of those who benefited from the amnesty, which is amnesty for terrorists, called the Niger Delta Militants at the time. Yes, they all belong to the group of Wike's political kind of college or political academy. I don't know. So he believes that those guys who claim to be the Niger Delta Rescue Mission, have been Niger Rescue Mission, they were pretty much like a set-up group to implicate him. And then they will have to arrest him and take him to Abuja. Anyway, you heard him, Sha. So this is like allegation, counter-allegation, and what have you. My takeaway from all of that are the following. The fact that on the side of Wike, right, they are now everywhere. If they are not singing, Fubara must obey Wike, obey, Fubara must obey Wike, obey. They are singing, make you take your SIM card and give me Wike. You better take your SIM card and give me Wike. You better take your SIM card and give me Wike. That is not the one. They are singing for Amaewhule. On your mandate we shall stand. Fubara must obey Wike, obey. Okay, Wike, they fear you, Wike. And mind you, the mental slavery, their shenanigans, political shenanigans is not gender discriminatory. There are women too. You better take your SIM card and give me Wike. You better take your SIM card and give me Wike. Take your SIM card and give me Wike. You better take your SIM card and give me Wike. Oh.
Take your SIM card and give me Wike. card and give me Wike. Take a SIM card and give me Wike. Take a SIM card and give me Wike. Take a SIM card and give me Wike. You better take a SIM card and give me Wike. You better take a SIM card and give me Wike.
Give me Wike, or on your man debts we shall die. In their camp right now.
We shall stand. On your man debts we shall stand. On your man debts. On your man debts. On your man debts we shall stand. On your man debts we shall stand.
You are supposed to strike so that you eliminate all of them, so that you have peace in our nation. Or join them in one aeroplane so that it will crash land in the course of their agenda.
Finally, yesterday, Very Dark Man made a video that is an outright call out of the Tinubu's regime. Now, in that video, he pointed out that Tinubu is old, very old. There are people around Tinubu, those who are like so corrupt, so selfish, so self-centered that they are taking advantage of Tinubu or manipulating Tinubu. That people are suffering inside the contraption, and it doesn't seem like Tinubu is aware. That is when Lege Miami intervened. I wouldn't have shown you any of this. I just want, me, I am somebody who always pay attention to the usage of word. That is what prompted these videos that you're about to watch. The beginning.
All right. So, Sheyi Tinubu, I feel the need to say this to you. You need to be very useful to us. First of all, your father is old. And the people around him, their brains are dusty and there are cobwebs in their brain. I don't mean to say this trying to insult them. I know where I'm going to with this, right? You are the closest the youth have ever been to power. You are the closest, meaning there are a lot of things that you can help us with. Now, coming to China, I've opened my eyes to a lot of things, a lot of possibilities that we can emulate. Coming here, I feel like there's one train that can move everybody in Nigeria and come to this place and take them back so that their eyes will be open. There are a lot of potentials in that Nigeria that they are not utilizing because the old men in power cannot see. But you, Sheyi Tinubu, you can see because you can easily come here and look at these things and be like, you know what, Daddy, Ejo, Eshebai, Eshekini. There are a lot of things. See this China, the workforce, the youth, every possibility, every opportunity there. Like there are no limits. Any idea you are trying to cough out, there are opportunities for you. They are investing in the youth. You go to the airport, you see a lot of young minds in the airport. You go and see one elderly person for the airport. You go see a lot of young youths for the airport. They go from here to there. Everybody, the aim of this country is the growth, not personal growth. They want future growth. You turn around now, this place when I stay in a very big company, I don't want me to know the company, right? Because I don't suppose when they do video here. Now when they come here, over 5 hectares of land, now they start to do farming. They use over 5 hectares, they do in-house farming for groceries and everything that they export. There need to be investments on the youth in Africa, especially in that country, Nigeria. We have a lot of potentials. But when you talk about, say, investment of the youth, they'll just carry small money, give the youth. Say, Mona, go do this one. Let's create a scheme. Let's create a program. All these white elephant projects that we do in Nigeria. When your regime come, when your tenure come, this one go just chop, this one go just chop. There are a lot of opportunities that are not being utilized. You see, China is world power. Forget what America and every other person they tell now. China is world power. A lot of things where they sell for that Nigeria. As I come here, I say, wait a minute. They're taking advantage of us, but they will not take advantage of us if the investment is there on the youth and if a lot of ideas are welcome. So Sheyi, now only you now. There's a lot of ideas. They hope. All my hope now, I reach all my hope there on you because now only you feel relate. Now you the power. For me, now you the power because now you feel see in the eyes of the youth. Now you will feel relate to. Sheyi, there's a lot of potential in that country. Now you feel help us lay your father no say, now you be the young mind there. Come here, me, you see. See a lot of buses, see a lot of cars, road network everywhere. This place when I did so na village, oh. If I carry you go the hotel where I be staying at the village side. Because I just come here yesterday. What's the name of this place again? Sir? I don't even forget. Just came in here yesterday from Shanghai. Just come check one or two things. Bro, it is shit, eh? King Dao. It blow my mind. Creativities. There's no limitation. Any idea where you like, they welcome out. Sheyi, or more, even if 24 hours power, road network, a lot of things. Anybody will come power won't gather. Sheyi, like I said, we never get any president before we get picking where they actively in politics like you. So now only if you change a lot of things with this thing. How many years your father don't do? Your father don't do like 2 years? You still get like 6 years. Yes, I say 6 years. Some people they hope say 2027 when I go come out, but we all know people where no politics say 8 years. So there's a lot of opportunities. Sheyi, introduce the youth to your father. You can do it. Let us come together and let's transform the country. Like I said,
the great youth of Nigeria. Great.
Yo. Yo. The greater youth of Nigeria, great. The greater youth Nigeria, great. The greater yo. Who not here? Very dark man didn't say anything bad. The reaction that seems to have been going viral, right? From what is his name again? Lege, is completely out of place, right? But I wouldn't, like I said, I wouldn't even share that with you. Like it's going to be like a waste of time and all that. But I wanted to pay attention to is this illiteracy, poverty, or both?
Very dark man. If I don't come this side, you don't enter him. I swear, no going back. You don't enter him, no going back. If I don't mention say Tinubu name at all, say na mates or na level or what you want cause am? You know say na we dead there. You know say now we dead there. When it comes to Sheyi matter, now we dead there. Me I don't hear English, yo. I don't hear English. With all your nonsense, stupid grammar, you want to be speaking up and down. You go speak and tire. But all my Yoruba are going to speak. Go call your translator. From now, I give you 18 hours. And from now, so that they're going to translate them for you. If I do my video, cause you go to follow them. Mama Shepa Fueli. Obi, look at me very well. Very dark man, for don't come this side. Very dark man, yes, it's bad. Very dark man, yes, it's that. Your insult, my chairman, my friend. If they are talking of English, can you speak English? If they are talking of personality, do you close to him at all? If they are talking of intelligent, are you ever close to him at all? In what way? In what manner? Who are you? Wobi, very dark man. Anybody way close to way like your matter, way like you. Don't worry. Only thing we do. Apologize video. Go and do video to apologize. Now that you don't mean like that, you don't mean that way. Then we cancel the matter. If you don't make a video, oh wow, I swear with my life, that your cause where you like. You go to see some men there. That the house be that. Now on top of your matter, you go end down. No worry. Very dark man.
You won't need a car to travel. You won't need an aeroplane to travel. You will just say, I want to go to London. And you'll be in London. Whether you believe it or not, the time is coming when you won't need you.
That's the first reaction. It's made about 4 videos. Because of our time, here is the second reaction.
Emi, that Messi, very dark man. Oh, but what be this never she want to see? So go do about that. What to load you very dark man? Couldn't hear out on at our fancy. Team want to talk on ya, Bolori Burukula fans, Bolori Burukuni. Ah, what did I found? What did I find fancy? And fans very dark man, what did I for going? I ain't my Jenny. I'm going to go see Elegasta. Oh, you should cooler dollar. Elegasta is still what? Is still proceeding? Is still what? Is still producing cooler to tomorrow. They just burn you. You know where they do cooler where they take the chop. Cooler where you they take the chop. You know where they do no go better for you. Now Lagos they do Bino where they take the rights. Where they do Now Lagos, Nigeria. Now Yoruba get down. Now Edo people get into Yoruba people and Edo people. We are together. But you are a conda of inside the rights of Lagos of this generation. This generation will remove. I will remove you. So no Buruku Nieni. Oloshi. Very dark man. Daddy Messi. I'm street of Lagos. See, look at me. I'm street of Lagos. I'm street of Lagos. I'm street of Lagos. Very dark man. Lebu Koloshi. Only he's saying something that he blocked me. Only yeah, very dark man. Me, you and I. If it's a big fight, if I say get power, they carry small weight for back end of your house. Maboleko. Why do you go to portable don't shave on attack with you? If you have when you go, Masumo, I do the airport, Masumo, go to see. Oh, you dafu fast very dark man. Oh, you dafu very dark man. Abolo Iburukuli, who they chop, where monkey they check tail? Who they chop, where monkey they check tail? Very dark man. Ombu Sheyi Tunumbu. Sheyi no law, no see the name. ST. Ombu Sheyi. Number one, son of number one. Sheyi. Hey, we go back. Only dark man, very dark man. Let us see. Look better for you, very dark man. Ombushei. I don't forget the English. I don't know what the English. I can't speak English. I don't understand English. If you don't even hear if you don't understand what I'm saying, then should be go and translate for him in English. Don't stress me with your English. You love speaking English. I love speaking my Yoruba. So if you don't understand what I'm doing, I abuse you, Neo. I abuse you. Emi Daddy Messi. Emi. She call your father. I want to work with you. People that is their brain is not saying, what's the name of Abushe? Abushe Tieni Tama. Malabale Doni. Shana Doa. Shagbon Dosa. Only pay. I have to say this to you. Your daddy is old. People around him, they don't get brain. The kind of brain they get, they don't put Owala and Tako. Keba gbọ́dọ̀ gbọ́n ti fi sí pé wọn ọmọ kan tó ń ṣe ẹjọ́ ṣé àwọn tó wà ńbẹ̀ tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ pẹ̀lú president ṣé president ló yàn wọ́n ni àbáwọn ló yan ara wọn. So ó jẹ́ pé wọ́n pé president náà ṣe kíni wọ́n ti dàgbà wọn ọmọ tó ń ṣe mọ́. ṣèyí ló máa sọ̀kọ́ tí dáàdi ẹ̀ máa ṣe fún àbí torí dáàdi òmù kan tó ń ṣe ọlọ́mọ bá ti gbogbo yín jẹ́ ni ọlọ́mọ bá ti gbogbo yín jẹ́ ẹ̀yọ́ ọmọ òwe tẹ̀wọ̀n àbí tẹ́ẹ̀ni làákàyè ẹ̀yọ́ ń lo scope ó ń lo ẹ̀dà ọ̀rọ̀ he uses scope to monkey them ó wá lọ ń pọ́n wọlé nísàlẹ̀ ìyá ẹ̀ ń wá líǹkì ó mọ̀ bí tó máa gbà wọlé very dark mind dey look for link you don't know where one pass enter your 150 million naira you don spend and finish.
nuisance leleyi.
Just for the record. Anyway, you don't have to react to this, all right? There's no point. I just wanted to be on record that this also happened today. So, brethren, ladies and gentlemen, it's been an interesting evening as usual. The only difference is that we are not going to be taking calls, okay? But I'm going to see you some other time when we can indeed take calls. So thank you so much for your time. To those asking how to kind of support Maiyegun, you know it now. So what you do is that if you want to buy me a coffee, great. If you want to send me PayPal, there's a PayPal link as well on your screen. You can use that. You can also use the buy me a coffee link. Apart from that, yeah, the most important thing is that you actually like, share this broadcast, okay, and you subscribe to this channel. That is the most important thing you would do, among others, okay? So thank you so much, everyone, for your time. I'm going to call it a night, okay? And I'm going to also, what you need to do is just to scan this, by the way. Let me see if I can put out. So something like that. You get, what do you call it? You get your camera out, and your camera can scan this. And once it does, and that's it. It's going to take you here, I think. Yeah. Anyway, it's fine. So thank you so much, everyone, for your time. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Lababs, man, I don't miss you, so you can pay. Or if I don't, maybe tomorrow evening, we should say hello and check on you, okay? So thank you so much, everyone else, okay? Enjoy the rest of your evening. And good night from here. From Maiyegun, I shall see you again tomorrow. Good night.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun #1.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun #1.
Maiyegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú.
Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun #1.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun #1.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí.
Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun #1.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun #1.
Bó bá ṣe eré, àní Maiyegun máa wí.
Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun #1.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré, wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun #1.
Maiyegun Diary, Diary Politico.
Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun #1.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun.
Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun #1.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o, kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun #1.
Àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun #1.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní tó bá rúfin o.
Maiyegun mami.
Àní ẹ̀ ṣọ́ra jù.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Maiyegun mami.
Àní ẹ̀ ṣọ́ra jù.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá.
Maiyegun mami.
Àní ẹ̀ ṣọ́ra jù.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Maiyegun mami.
Àní ẹ̀ ṣọ́ra jù.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Maiyegun mami.
Àní ẹ̀ ṣọ́ra jù.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ ṣọ́ra kì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀ ṣọ́ra kì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ ṣọ́ra kì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ ṣọ́ra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ ṣọ́ra kì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ ṣọ́ra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀. Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkanṣá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ ṣọ́ra kì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ ṣọ́ra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ ṣọ́ra kì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ ṣọ́ra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Maiyegun ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti dọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà. Àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ ṣọ́ra kì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ ṣọ́ra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.